Hi everyone, Tasha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to create this fun, colorful little card using items from the Hedgehog Hollows July subscription box. This month's theme was all mid-century and retro themed, so I'm using this really cool 4x6 stamp set included in the kit. It has 5 different sentiments that are all kind of like 1950s, 1960s themed, and I'm going with one that says hello friend, and it looks kind of like a sign that you might find in like the 50s or 60s. I went over to my MISTI and I'm using Hive Eclipse black ink to do the stamping. This ink is really nice and dark, and I'm using my Maker Forte Smoosher tool just to make sure I get the even pressure. I wanted that black area to be really dark and bold, so I did have to stamp it twice, but 2 stamps made it completely covered and it looks perfect. So I'm going to go over to my Scan and Cut Pro and I cut that design out. And now I'm going to just color with my Copic markers. Again, this ink is great when you're coloring with alcohol markers because it dries so fast and it doesn't smear when you're coloring, which is awesome. So I'm just doing some simple coloring here. I started with orange and now I'm going to go in with yellow for that bottom area. I want these colors to be really bright and happy colors, kind of like a sign you would see in Las Vegas or in Florida, or at least that's what it reminds me of. So I'm going to go in with like this purple shade. It's kind of like a fuchsia purple shade. And then I'm going to use a really kind of a bright blue color and finish with a light green color. So I just have some orange, purple, blue, and green with that bright yellow on the bottom, and I think it just looks really fun, kind of like a sign that would be lit up somewhere. To add some more detail, I went in with my white gel pen and just added little dots along the bottom. This kind of reminded me of like a sign that had lights on the bottom, and I think just adding those little details kind of makes your card unique, and I like the way that it looked. So this is how it looks when it's all done. Just real simple coloring, but I love how those colors just work together. Next, I'm going to do my stenciled background. This kit included 2 stencils, and this stencil has 2 pieces to it, so you can use it alone or mix and match. I am going to use both pieces of this layered stencil for my design, but again, you can mix and match however you want to. So I'm going in with Distress Oxide ink in Salvaged Patina, and this is just a really pretty, kind of like an aqua color. And I went over on one of the layers, and afterwards I'm going to use the second stencil layer and then build up more color. So I gently remove that, and then I'm going in with the second piece. And this second piece has sections that kind of block off that first stencil design, and then it has like these little stripes. So you can really mix and match this as well. And you can notice that I don't put the stencil on straight. I'm kind of have it at an angle, and I had to use a piece of the purple tape just to cover that blue corner because of the way I positioned the stencil. But again, you can mix and match to create your own pattern. I gently removed the stencil and I wanted to add another color. So I wanted to add that pop of green. So I'm just kind of trying to position my stencil where I can have those white areas open to add the green color, but still block off some of the design so I didn't have to use a lot of masking. I'm going in with Twisted Citron, and I'm just going to add it into those white areas. I moved my stencil along, again, this way I didn't have to do any masking, and I could kind of add the green where I wanted. And I wanted it just in those little white areas, but I still wanted some of the white to show through. Once I was done with that, I took it over to my trimmer, and I'm just going to trim the center card down, and this one is 3.5 by 3 3/4. So again, it's really simple to do, just some simple cuts, but I love how it looks with the 3 colors. I think it's a really cool design, and this is a fun way too to not use pattern paper, but to create your own background. Next, I'm using Eclipse black cardstock from Maker Forte, and this is 3 3/4 by 4, and it's just going to be a nice mat for that design we just created. I wanted that pop of hot pink, so I went in with a piece of hot pink cardstock, and this is cut at 4 1/4. I'll have all of the dimensions in the description box below. I used a piece of that same, kind of like a scrap piece of that Eclipse black paper as well to create a strip, and that is just cut at 1/2 by 3 3/4. Next, I'm going in and I'm punching 2 circles. I'm using just two circle punches that I have, and I'm just punching them out. I wanted to have a little detail on my card behind that sentiment, and since the sentiment does have kind of like a I don't know, a little design behind it, you'll see when I start layering it, I didn't know really what I wanted to do. So I decided just to have the coordinating pieces of cardstock and then create that circle and that little strip to kind of make the colors pop, but not have it too busy. So I'm just going to use some tear tape, and I'm going to attach that little black strip to my pattern that I created. And you can have it centered or you can have it wherever you want it. Next, I'm going to mat the center card with the Eclipse black cardstock again. I'm just sticking with the same colors. And then I'm going to attach it to the hot pink layer as well. So the hot pink really pulls in the pink that we used in the background, and then the black is just really good because it separates the busier background from the pink color, so it really makes that pink stand out. And I love pink and black together. Well, I love hot pink colors, and I really love hot pink and black. So next I'm going to put it onto that simple card base that I made, and I did make the card base where it was a little bit bigger so that the white would show up as well. I just thought it was, again, made it nice and bold. I'm just going to use some glue runner and attach the 2 circles and then attach it directly onto my card. And I wanted it to be on top of that black strip, kind of like if you had a ribbon around your card. Afterwards, I'm going to go in and use the glue runner on my sentiment and then put a little piece of foam tape on one end. Since this will be layered on top of those circles, the card would be kind of slanted or wouldn't look as well if you didn't have a piece of foam on one side to kind of even it out. So just one little piece of foam evened out my project. So here's a look at the cards I created with this kit. I did make this one as well earlier, and I just love this fun retro theme. I hope you guys enjoyed the project for today, and definitely check out the Hedgehog Hollow subscription box, and I'll talk to you soon.